Oh, there we go.
All
We are
right.
here. Let's do this. I am so excited for today's conversation. I am here. Well, actually, we are in Florida and southwestern Ontario, so we're a little ways apart, but thanks to the internet, we are sitting down here together. I'm here with my friend Becca, and I am so excited to introduce you to her. She and we were chatting before we got started here, and we think we're coming up on 4 years of knowing one another and having friendship and connecting as friends on the internet. And
Yeah.
I am just so thrilled to be able to have Becca share her story here today with you. I know you are going to be inspired and encouraged by her. Becca and I were in a coaching program together. We were both students of the wonderful Lizzie Palios, and we think, Lizzie, you can correct us if we're wrong, but we think it was January of 2022 that we both got to be in Lizzie's very first, I think did she call it like a mini mind or something? I want to say it was like an Instagram
Something.
mini mind or so. That's what I remember. um,
Yeah.
and Becca and I were both there just learning how to use Instagram for our business. And at the time, Becca, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You actually were joining that program for a different business. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, yes, I was still, the majority of my time was my Young Living business at the time. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So I just think it's so cool to see. I mean, I did not have a podcast at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 years ago, I was joining to grow my Pampered Chef business and learn how to use Instagram to connect with my current customers, but also find new leads. And so we were in that program together. And I am just so thrilled that I've been able to watch you in this incredible journey that you've been on these past several years. And it's just been such an honor to be a little cheerleader in your corner and like, I'm so proud of you. And yeah, and then you for me as well. It's just been so fun that God allows us to like build these friendships across the world
Mm,
that we never would have been able to do before the internet.
yeah.
Got on planes and flew to different places to or get on ships. I don't
Yeah.
know, sail across
It's like
the
a
ocean.
big throwback. Yeah.
But I am so excited to have you here today and share your story with us. So, we're going to talk a little bit more about you, but I'd love if you want to just give a brief little intro of who you are and yeah, what you do. That would be great.
Yeah. So, like you said, I'm Becca. I live in the Orlando, Florida area. I've got a great husband, two daughters. Too many pets. And I now my business is that I run like health coaching and personal training. Just this year, I converted our garage to train women. So they don't have to go navigate the big gyms, all the people they don't know and the event things. And I have like such a passion for helping women and moms in particular feel really confident in their own skin and feel like they can participate in the life that they want to live. So that is what I do.
I love it. Does that speak to anyone listening right now? If so, you're going to want to stick around. And if not, stick around anyways.
Yeah.
Because I know Becca is going to inspire you. So let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Uh, so, what would you say for yourself? What was the turning point for you when you realized that it was time to make a change in your health journey?
Yeah. So that was like late 2022. I was easily 100 pounds overweight. And my husband and I went on like a weekend trip to a local theme park. We didn't take the kids. And I like could not ride some of the rides. I was too big. And I was like, okay, I know like this is a big like wake up moment for me and looking at family health history and just how hard doing certain things was. Like I knew I had two choices. I could either like continue on that path and I knew the list of like diagnoses that was coming my way, or I could say, I don't know what it's going to take, but like whatever it takes, I've got to make a change. And so I committed to that change. I mean, I had missed baby showers from like not having clothes that fit. I like didn't want to be in pictures with my kids. I couldn't go and do as much as they wanted. And I was just like, it is time. So 2023, I had committed like I was going to work on that. Yeah. So that's kind of what got me started.
Wow. I think that just thinking about that, like, see, you're at in that moment and you're seeing it and you're like, you know that this is something
Yeah.
has to change. And so, and I wonder, like, can you speak a little bit more, like, at that point, you
Mhm.
realize that, like, where did you go from there? Like, what was that, like, where you knew something had to change? Were there people that you saw that were going through their own health journey, or like people
Mm.
that you knew, like where, what was that kind of like, where did you turn to basically at that point?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was late November. And in January, like I said, I like that was my goal for 2023 was to lose some weight. And so in January, I did a free like step challenge that a health coach, actually, who also knows Lizzie, was running. I didn't commit to any coaching at the time because I was like, I know what to do, right? Like we all know what to do.
Mhm.
So I was like, I'll like up my steps, I'll be more conscious of what I'm eating. And I did lose like 10 pounds in January. I think
Mhm.
the tricky part is like when life gets chaotic, it's a lot harder to stick to our goals, especially when they're new. And
Mhm.
so I gained that weight back. And then in April, yes, I gained that weight back between February and March. And then in April, I hired the health coach because I
Mhm.
was like, I am struggling to do this on my own. And I
Mhm.
need like the accountability and help, like navigating, like when my kids are sick or, when we travel or we have company for an extended time, like things just feel more chaotic. And I felt like I wasn't equipped to handle that on my own at that point. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Well, and I think that that is it's huge. I mean, I can resonate with that so much. As soon
Yeah.
as you said you lost 10 pounds, I'm like, this sounds familiar. Because I mean, because you were in the group coaching with me, but I
Yeah.
actually signed up. I actually won. I at the Melissa that did
Yeah.
a giveaway to win a free month of coaching with her in June last year. And I won, and I was so excited because I had seen your journey. I had followed Melissa for a long time because Melissa was actually in that mini mind with us too, I believe,
Was
back
she
in,
really?
I think so. I remember
Oh,
because
that's
I know she
crazy.
was Lizzie's health coach, but I think she was in that mini mind with us. I don't know.
Okay.
Like I feel like I remember seeing her name there on calls, but I could be wrong.
I mean, she could have been.
Yeah. But I remember like because that was the same story for me where I lost the 10 pounds pretty not easily. I mean, I worked for it. I knew what
Mhm.
I was doing like with the program that Melissa had and doing the workouts and whatnot. But I said to Derek, I was like, I for my birthday, because July obviously was my birthday, but the next one I was like, for my birthday, can I work with her for another month, please? Like,
Yeah.
I want to see this keep going, and I don't quite
Mhm.
feel ready yet after just 1 month. And so I did and carried on with that. And then after when I stopped, it was the same story, like gained the weight back, gained even more weight beyond that. And just that desire, knowing as somebody like and again, Derek and I have talked about this so often. For those of you who don't know, Derek is my husband, if I clarified that.
Not a random person.
Yeah,
Yes.
not just some random guy I'm chatting with. But because he has always been somebody that he's very self-disciplined and
Mhm.
motivated. He actually started working out when he was like, I want to say maybe 18. It was before we met,
Oh,
and he
wow.
actually I still remember, I think it was a Michael Jordan notebook. I'm pretty sure on the outside it was Michael Jordan. And his like aspiration, no, I don't know. He loves Michael Jordan. So anyways, it was this
Yeah.
little like coiled notebook. And he would like write out his workouts in there because I think that was kind of around the time like he was on a bit of a health journey himself and like starting to
Yeah.
work out. But he's always been like he's never worked really with a trainer or coach, but he's been somebody who will like research things and then do it. And so when we got
Yeah.
married, and then he's just like, why don't you just do it? Like, research it, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So we
Yeah.
actually had a season where he was even like, programming some workouts for me, but then we quickly found out that having your husband as your trainer, I don't know if you guys have experienced that at all, but
Yeah. I don't coach my husband. I don't
no.
train my husband.
No.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting dynamic that we've experienced over our past 11 years of marriage. But yeah, I think like finding that person, finding
Mhm.
somebody, whether it's a friend or whether it is a trainer or a coach
Mhm.
that you can partner with, and have that accountability. I think I mean, even in the short time that I experienced, that was so transformative for me and something that I've longed for,
Yeah.
and am excited to get started with again myself. So I'm curious, like,
Mhm.
as a mom, you are a mom and a wife, as you mentioned, and I'm just curious, like, in this journey of transformation that you've gone through, and you haven't necessarily specifically spoke to it yet, so if you want to even kind of share a little bit more details of your transformation journey
Sure.
these past few years, but like, I'm curious, like, as a wife and a mom, like, did your faith like play a role in that transformation? Did you like what did that look like, as a mom? Not only are you going through physical changes as you're
Mm.
deciding to go on this health journey, but obviously there's emotional changes that
Yeah.
are happening. There's emotional challenges, even spiritually. Like, just, yeah, kind of maybe speak to that in your transformation, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, what that transformation looked like.
Yeah. So a little bit of background of like where I've come since I started working with somebody a couple years ago. I have lost a little over 90 pounds. I,
Crazy. Can I just say,
I
like, that's crazy.
some
Just a
days
little
I
over 90
feel,
pounds.
yeah,
Like,
no big deal. No, but it is a lot of work. Like what you were saying, like you don't just lose the weight easily. Like you have to put work in for that. And so there is a lot that comes from that transformation. Like, it going back to like beginning of 2023, I told you my goal was to like lose weight that year. I only had one other goal, and that was to read the entire Bible in the year, which I hadn't done in a really long time.
mm,
And I feel like together, those two goals showed me that like the Lord gives us what we need to be disciplined,
mm,
which I guess I'd never like thought of it that way before. I'm like, oh, it's just hard for me to be disciplined. But like, if you take it day by day and you just make little shifts and small goals, like the Lord gives you what you need. I also think that I gained such an understanding of like the more like the healthier I am, the more fit that I am, the more I actually serve my family better and my community better.
mm,
Because when I started on this journey, like I did hardly anything around my house. Like I did the laundry, I sometimes did the dishes, but like my husband did like the bulk of the work around the house.
mm,
He ran like all of our errands because I was just tired all the time. I was always taking naps. And now it's like, oh, I'll run that errand, I'll do those chores, and that is a gift to him because
mm.
he's already working a full-time job to like provide for us and to take care of us, and then coming home and doing all the work. Like that was just a lot. And there are situations where that's necessary, right? But mine, it wasn't. Like I could make changes that would let me be a better wife, a better mom, like keep up with my kids, not be like a yes mom, right? But like, oh, they want to play, an outdoor game. Like I have energy to go do that with them and connect with them. And so I think that that was my biggest like spiritual aspect of it, is just that like we are called to serve our family and our community and like our church. And like just being able to do that better has been like just really cool to like see and think like, oh man, I couldn't have done this 3 years ago. Um, so yeah, that's been like one of the biggest things I think I would say.
Yeah, it's huge. And I actually didn't even know that. It's so funny. Becca said to me, she's like, "Do you want me to send you my notes? Like, are we just gonna do a surprise?" I'm like, I work best with surprises. I like being surprised. I did not know that even that challenge of reading the Bible in a year, that was
Yeah.
part of your journey, because
Yeah.
that's something that I've been on these past 3 years. And as somebody who I grew up in the church,
Hmm.
I came to know the Lord when I was 8 years old, and then, I was baptized at 11, went on kind of a journey through my teen years of, wrestling with God, wanting to,
Yeah.
knowing that I knew he was my savior. I knew I wanted to, but my flesh was wrestling with that.
Hmm.
And then at the age of 19, surrendered my life to God and have been on this
Mm.
journey of walking by the Spirit for the past, like, well, not quite 2 decades, but getting there. And so I think, but through that, I really wrestled with the fact that I was like, I know there are parts of my Bible I have never read before,
Mm.
because I have never read it either like front to back entirely
Hmm.
or chronologically. And I discovered a chronological Bible plan. I guess that would
That's
have been,
awesome.
yeah, in 2023, I guess, at the beginning of 2023. So our journeys are
Yeah.
very aligned, Becca.
Yeah. So it's like what
Not
you
lost
described,
90
like,
pounds yet.
yeah. No, but like even what you described about like growing up, becoming a believer really young, like that's my story too. And then like the teen years were big wrestling years for me. Like you're talking and I'm like, oh my gosh, we lived the same life, just like different countries, you know?
I know, it's so crazy. I think like it's just so neat to see how the Lord works in that, and that idea too of discipline, because really the reason it's called a spiritual discipline, like
Mm,
reading the word, praying, I think that is it totally, it takes discipline, because the world is, I mean, I don't know if you've heard the song Dusty Bibles by Josiah Queen.
I don't think so.
It is so good. Go listen to it if you haven't heard it.
Okay.
But the line is, we've got dust on our Bibles and brand new iPhones and wonder why we feel
Mm,
this way. And the idea of just like that distraction that we have, especially with technology just being so accessible, so
yeah.
entertaining, so mind-numbing, just like so readily available to draw us away from the things like you were even saying, like serving our family. I know for myself, I can get so distracted. Just I'm like going to my phone to check something, and then all of a sudden I'm watching reels, or all of a
Oh,
sudden
yes.
down a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories. And like I'm like, what? Like I was literally just going to check one thing, and I've just wasted all this time. And I think that idea of discipline is just, I think it's a lost art in a lot of
Mm,
ways, a lost practice of just like staying disciplined. And I love that you brought up this idea of being disciplined in reading God's word alongside this discipline of your health and this journey that you were wanting to go on. Because I think, we can, as you see, like as you're drawing closer to the Lord, as
mm,
you're showing yourself that you can be disciplined in reading God's word, which is something I've been working on myself these past 3 years in particular. Um, just like again, you're like proving to yourself, like I can do this. Like I am
yeah.
a disciplined person, and this discipline that I have in reading the word actually can apply to other areas of my life.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you shared that, and that was like a good little nudge for me too.
I
But
love that.
we've said, I mean, clearly losing 90 pounds is incredible. This is absolutely, I'm just, every time I hear, I'm like, oh my goodness, Becca, I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank
But
you.
I know that this transformation has not been a straight line. This has not just been
Right.
this, like, yeah, and I just dropped 90 pounds. Like, first of all,
Yeah.
that would be healthy if that happened.
Correct.
But yeah, were there moments along this journey that you wanted to give up? Like, I mean, I think I can guess the answer, but um if so, were there things that helped you keep going? Like, what was it for you along this journey that kept you going?
Yeah. So I would say at the beginning, motivation keeps us going, right? Because like every time we get on the scale, we're like, oh, I lost a little bit because we're just getting started. Um, but about a year in, I just hit this wall where I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, do I really want to maintain these habits my whole life? Like it is a commitment, especially after you've built up the habits, and I had a call with Melissa. She was still my coach at the time. And I remember just telling her, like, I like this is hard. Like, and I think that the thing is that I hit the point where it becomes more mental than like physical, where it's like, okay, like every day this is just what I do. And some days I just didn't want to do it. Like that's very normal.
Mm,
And, she told me, because at the point I had probably lost like 70 pounds in there, maybe 80. And she was like, no, probably about 70. And she was like, if you stop now, like nobody is having the thought that like, oh, you should have kept going. She was like, if you feel good right now, like there's nothing stopping you from just saying like, I'm just going to maintain from here on out. But I knew inside that like I didn't really want that. And just having that freedom, I think was very helpful. And looking at it as like, I can either keep going or I can quit all these habits and find myself where I was when I started. And so, like, life isn't always so black and white, right? But kind of seeing it that way was like, oh no, I like these habits better because I like how I feel.
mm,
So that was really pivotal. And that's just kind of always been in my mind. And then this summer, I was in like a maintenance phase where I was more focused on building muscle, not on any weight loss.
mm,
And I hit that same wall and I kind of just coached myself through that where I was like, okay, well, what are your options? And like, what one do you really want? Like long term. And
mm,
so even if it doesn't feel fun, like I literally just posted a reel today that's about like the messy middle, the boring part is what I call it. When it's not fun, but it's just what you do day after day, like that's where so much of the growth happens, not just physically, but like mentally. Like this journey, at some point it switches from physical to mental. Even though you're still getting physical results, like your mind is driving your habits at that point, and like your habits day after day will like determine the path that you're on. And so that is what has helped me. And I think for the most part, we don't really hit those like, I don't really want to do this anymore until we have got a few habits under our belt. And that helps because once they're fully developed, it's just what you do like day in and day out.
mm,
And so then when you look at it, you're like, well, I either give up the life that I've like created and go to something else, or I just say, like, well, it feels boring right now, but like if I keep going, I'm going to get what I really want.
mm,
And so that's been like, I think that's huge. And the fact that it creates a lifestyle that you want to come back to. Like when I'm on vacation, I thoroughly enjoy vacation. I love like sleeping in, playing with my kids, like not worrying about like, oh, did I get a full workout in? Whatever. But I love coming back and like picking up my habits. And I think that's key too, is like, has what you created become something that you look forward to coming back to? If it hasn't, maybe it needs a few tweaks, but
mm. Oh, I love that. That is so good. I'm totally envisioning like, because we just went away. We literally went away for one night. We went and
yeah.
just Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada last weekend. And we went and stayed because my aunt was hosting Thanksgiving and she offered to me because she knew I was going to be driving by myself with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
She said, do you want to stay the night and then you can like head out in the morning so you don't have to feel rushed to like drive
Mhm.
here. It's, about a 2.5 hour drive to the Toronto area. And so then like just to do that there and back in the day, do you want to stay over? And I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds great. And to be honest, like at one point in the evening, I was like, oh, maybe I should just go home, whatever. And I was like, no, 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 like she's offered to stay and we're gonna do that. That's what we planned. But I remember like coming home the next day, literally one night away, like I wasn't away for a week. And it
Yeah.
just felt like I like exhaled. Like it was
Yeah.
like, and this is my routine, like, and we have worked hard as a family to create home as a
Mhm.
safe place, not a place that, we just like kick off our shoes and lie on the couch, but like it's this place where we're safe. We work in our home, we take care of our home, but we enjoy our home. It is a like a safe space. And I like that idea of our habits. Like we're like when we go away, we go on vacation, but we're like excited to come back. It's like coming home to
Mm-hmm.
those like familiar routines that we do. And I don't know, I love that picture. I'm like, okay, I can connect with that. I can relate to
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
there really is something about like whether it's like being back in your own bed or, like your daily routine. Like, yeah, it's such a good feeling. There's
it,
nothing like it.
yeah, yeah, it truly is. And I think, as you were sharing about that, I started thinking, I'm like, okay, like, because even just the example of marriage, like we were talking about this on the weekend, like when you get married. And we experienced very much so, like these were two very different families. I mean, similar
Yeah,
in lots of ways. Obviously, we got
sure.
married because we shared a lot of similar values, but we did grow up differently. There were certain things. And I still remember one of the things was that his family, like the vegetables had butter and salt on them before they
Hmm.
hit the table. Whereas in my family, we had vegetables and we had butter and we had salt, and you did your own vegetables at the table.
Yeah.
Like you put your butter on your rice at the table, on your vegetables, whatever. And so just thinking about, I'm like, I won't take all the time today to list all of the habits that I've developed over the past 11 years, but just in living with somebody who does things
Hmm.
differently. I mean, I'll use a silly example, flossing teeth. I did not have the habit of flossing my teeth. I still am working on that habit, but my very disciplined husband was somehow he developed this flossing teeth habit, and it's like as I watch him do it, I'm like, okay, that is a habit I can implement into my life. And now I look
Hmm.
back and I'm like, even though, I could probably grow in the consistency, it is way more than it ever was
Yeah.
before in my life. And so just learning the like, I don't know, I just encourage the people, those who are listening, just think about, because no matter where we're at, in our health journey, in our spiritual journey, in our relationships, wherever we're at, we can look back and recognize and notice like what are those habits that we never used to do. Now I'm
Hmm.
somebody who eats breakfast every morning. Like that
Yay, good.
not a habit I had when I started my teaching career. Like I
Hmm.
remember I was like, "Oh man, I cannot do this without breakfast." Like why do I not eat breakfast? Like, but it was often something that I skipped, and usually it was because of when I was waking up and whatnot or not feeling
Yeah.
hungry yet. But that has become a habit that I have implemented into my daily routine. I think having kids helps because I'm like, okay, I'm feeding them. I should probably
Yeah.
feed myself as well. Not usually, I don't usually feed myself until after I feed them, but we are eating breakfast together. So I think,
Yeah.
but just I love that idea of like these habits that you've developed, like feeling like home and feeling like something you're excited to come back to. Um, and so I want to transition here
Mhm.
into talking a little bit more about what you're doing now, because obviously you shared a bit about your journey and this incredible journey that you've been on. But at some point, you decided, like, hey, like, I want to do this too. As you mentioned, like you
Yeah.
were not doing this. This was not your job as a trainer or a health coach. This was not your job before you started on this journey. Is that correct? Like I'm correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I noticed on Instagram, when I was looking at things, I was like, oh, I love this little phrase that she has there because it says, "You coach women who want results and ice cream." And I love that
Yes.
so much because I mean, I love ice cream.
Yeah, I mean,
But
same.
yeah, like how, so first of all, if you want to share a little bit about your journey of how you decided this was what you wanted to do,
Yeah.
and then even you can obviously go in and talk about how now you are helping women find balance between discipline and enjoying life, like you mentioned, going on vacation, whatever, but also I'm sure that that shows up in your daily life as well.
Yeah. So, about 10 months into working with my first coach, Melissa, she was like, hey, she's like, you have come a really long way, and it's like you have good people skills, like you know how to talk to people, you know how to relate to people. She's like, I want you to consider like making this your career too. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, no, right? Like, because I spent years hiding from like those kinds of interactions. That terrified me. Um, but along the way, like I had gained a lot of my confidence back.
Mm,
And I just really weighed it. Like I prayed about it a lot. I talked to my husband a lot, and I was pretty set that I was going to say no. And then
mm,
one day I was like, literally, what do I have to lose? Like,
mm,
and I'm so glad that I went with that curiosity, because I absolutely love what I do. Like there is something about getting to connect with women who are on their own health journeys, whether it's, so I do like one-on-one personal training. I do, like I said, small group personal training. I have like a mom and tween girls event coming up in about a week, where we're gonna like do a small workout, and then we're gonna talk about nutrition, and like the kids can ask whatever they want, and so can the moms, because it can be hard to like, how do we talk to our kids about food? Like, I want to
mm,
help start those conversations with some like info about what they're curious about. And then I do online coaching, like health coaching for like weight loss or health habits, whatever they specifically want. And so connecting with women in those places is just so beautiful, because you get to see their transformation. Like you
mm.
get to see where, I have one client, I absolutely love her, and she always sends me photos comparing to a year prior. Like we went and did the same activity, and like, here's how I look compared to how I was a year ago. And I feel so much better. And I kept up with my kids, and it's just like, it's so beautiful to see them stepping into the life that they wanted,
Yeah.
like with their family. And I love that, like, I can fully relate to that, because I went through that same process.
Mm,
And so that's how I got to where I am. um, Speaking about like balance and enjoying life, I think that any amount of discipline that's so strict that you have to always pass on what you love is like not the life we want to live, right? Like if you're like, I'm in a bodybuilding competition, I have to get on stage. Okay, like yes, for a time we're gonna say no to like all the sugar, but that's not who my clients are. Like my clients are like moms who want to have more energy, and they want to have more fun with their kids, and they want chores to feel easier because they're getting stronger. And so the typical mom who's like, I want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, we want to do it in a way that she can keep that weight off long term. And that's not going to be through like, you can't have the ice cream. So one thing I encourage my clients a lot is like, if they're craving something very specific, especially like if it comes up, at 9 p.m. on a Thursday night, typically my advice is like, like go to bed, see how you feel in the morning. But if they're still craving it the next day, I'm like, please go have it. Because if you want that ice cream cone from Chick-fil-A and you are like, no, I'll have my carrots, then you're going to have your celery, then you're going to have your chips, then you're going to have, like maybe some fruit. And then you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to go get the ice cream anyway. And then we've eaten all these other things that you didn't really want, thinking that they'd satisfy. And so I think that like that's the key to the balance, is like we work hard and we nourish our bodies with like foods that are going to fuel us really well, but we're going to make room for like the things that we really want, which for me, for you, it's ice cream, like. And I think that any mom, even if it's not ice cream for her, she's like, oh, cookies, or like, oh, like that one dish that I make that I love, I can have that still. And so that's my approach with it, to finding balance.
I love it. I love honestly, I think that that is do I keep saying that every time you finish? I love it. I love it. Maybe that's gonna be a nice little clip, a nice little reel. I love it. Every time Becca finishes, Ash, I love it. But seriously, like and when I met Melissa, like when I was in that program
Mhm.
with Melissa, the group coaching, like I just realizing like that was a huge because I mean, we grew up we I was born in the 90s. What about
Yeah.
you? I don't know.
88, 88. So
88.
we're
Yeah.
very close.
We're
Yeah.
very close. I'm a 91 girl. Like we grew up in the 90s and like
Hmm.
diet culture and all of that
Hmm.
and just like restriction and fads and Atkins and whatever like now keto, keto
Yes.
had its and I've watched, even in our as a family, like we've seen these like yo-yos and I think that that has been my hardest the thing that I faced that I'm like I step back and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna
Mm.
go on a health journey. I'm not gonna even try weight loss because like I don't want it there, right? I
Mm.
have friends that I love dearly that have suffered with anorexia, with bulimia. Like I'm like, I don't want to get
Yeah.
there. Like if I, cut out sugar or cut out wheat or cut out whatever the new
Yeah.
trend is that we're supposed to cut out, low fat was really
Yeah.
thing in the 90s. Like but now we're supposed to eat fat. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what?
It
Like,
is
oh,
always
wait.
changing. Yeah.
And, I think learning that, you know, like you said about like food that fuels our body, and like making room. We talked about making room on another podcast, but I like
Oh, I love it.
yeah, this idea of making room in our life, like the concept even of margin, like
Hmm.
this idea that there's like space for ice cream on
Yes.
a health journey. Like there is, like
Yeah.
that is it's not all or nothing. And I
Hmm.
am such an all or nothing girl. Like
Oh, I was too. Everything was all or nothing. And so like when I started working with I was like, I don't think I can lose the weight and keep it off. And she was like, why? And it's because I was like, it's all or nothing. It's not going
yeah.
to be sustainable. But the shift for me was like moderation. And
Mm,
so it takes a while to really develop that mindset that like moderation is good because
mhm,
we like to like excel and like do it all. Um, but I saw this quote that was like, not every workout is A plus, not every workout is an F. Like most would just be average. And
mhm,
that just like gave me freedom that like if my workout kind of sucked, that's okay because I have another one coming up, you know? And
mhm.
it's the same with food. Like I think ice cream serves a purpose. We enjoy it. Like we're meant to enjoy our food as well as fully nourish our bodies.
Yeah.
So yeah.
100%. And I think that this whole, I mean, I'm thinking even about like okay, I'm gonna throw Bray under the bus for a second here. Bray, if you're ever listening to this one day, I apologize that early on in the podcast, I'm sure you're gonna be brought up several more times. But, but so Bray, he's in grade 3 now. He hasn't received a report card yet, but he
Mm,
has received, in kindergarten, you get those like descriptive report cards that kind of
yeah.
talk about what they're doing. In grade 1, at least here in Ontario, they start getting letter grades, right? They're getting
Okay.
A's, B's, C's, whatever. And I remember getting his report card, grade 1, grade 2, and I'm seeing them and it's like B, 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 there maybe a B minus, maybe a B plus, B, 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 B. And I'm like, Derek, like he doesn't have an A. Like, why are there any A? He's like, Ashley, you've seen my elementary report cards. My report cards had F's and D minus and R's, which no, I don't think there's any. I think R was like you have to like redo it. But
Oh yeah.
like lots of F's and lots of D's. He's like, Bray is right where he needs to be. Like a
Mm,
B is great. But like this school system and academia and all of this, it's like
hmm.
have to get an A plus. Like we have to, like even the expression, the very first counselor I ever had, because I kept saying like, I'm gonna just try my best. And she was like, Ash, like if you did your best every single day, you are going to be exhausted. Like,
Mm,
we don't need to do our best every single day. Like, what if we just did okay? Like, what if we did an average job? We didn't just, oh, I'm just going to try my best. it's like, no, you actually don't have to try your best. Like your best is like if you are doing your
Yeah.
best at a like marathon running sprint, every single day, you're gonna pass out. Like that's
Yeah.
but again, culturally, like we're like, oh, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna do my best. I want to do my best workout. I want to have like eat like the best food I can, to
Yeah.
nourish me completely every single meal. And it's like you said, like, some workouts are going to be this, some workouts are going to be that. Sometimes we have ice cream and that's great actually
Yeah.
because we really enjoyed it. And I think just this concept of like being average. Like I don't know, it's
Yeah.
so it even saying it I laugh because I'm like it sounds so foreign as
Yeah.
somebody like, I mean, I just yeah, I think that it is like really something that has been so ingrained in us of like
Mm.
doing our best and doing our best with everything that obviously we're exhausted because we can't. Like we
Yeah.
literally can't do our best in every single area every single day, And so this concept of moderation, this concept of like finding things. I love the mindset shift of like finding fuels that fuel your body
Mm.
or finding foods, sorry, that fuel your
Yeah.
body. I remember just even the concept that I've held with me of like protein. Like I mean
Mhm.
protein's kind of a buzzword
It's like a
right
hot, yeah, it's
now.
a hot word right now.
It's a hot topic. But again, I love the shift of like eat we're not focused on not having protein, like
Correct.
focused on
Yes.
having protein in our diet, and
Yes.
maybe I mean, I'm sure we could have a whole nother podcast about like, when because I literally okay, this is kind of a random aside, but we were at Costco this weekend or this week, sorry, Derek and I were shopping and he saw protein Eggos.
No way.
And we looked at them and we were like, Derek's like, no, I'm totally getting these for the kids. Like he totally, bought it. He like checked, oh, there's this, I don't know if it's 10 grams per Eggo or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, at least it's something. At least they're getting some sort of protein. And so the kids have been enjoying strawberry protein Eggos this
I
week.
love it. I mean, no, I put protein powder in my kids' pancakes because they
Yeah,
don't want like things with the pancakes. They just
right.
want, so I'm like, I don't care, but I'm adding this.
We're
Like,
putting this in.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess Eggo's got the memo of the
They
protein
did.
pancakes that they're doing.
Yes.
Protein waffles, strawberry flavored. I'm sure they're completely unprocessed.
Oh, I'm sure
Very
they're,
healthy.
yes,
But hey,
like
our kids
farm
are
to
getting 10
table.
gram,
Yeah.
10-gram
Yeah.
shot of protein in the morning.
I love
Um,
it.
so yeah, let's as we kind of wrap up our conversation,
Mhm.
this is I would love to get to share more and learn more. So we'll have to have another chat soon. That's like
Yeah.
my like classic tagline. We're like, we need to have another conversation. Ashley's like, I'm gonna book you in, okay? We'll do this again. But I just thinking today about our conversation and the women, and I mean, obviously, hey guys, we don't want to leave you out. I know there are some men that are listening. My husband is required to listen to each podcast. Give us feedback. No, I only made him do that for the first podcast. I needed some positive affirmation
Oh, I
after
love it.
getting
Yeah.
one out there. My therapist and I worked through that. Being able to ask him for some positive feedback. But I think just specifically to the woman right now who's listening, um, who's feeling stuck. Maybe
Mhm.
maybe she, is in postpartum or maybe she's never had any children and she's actually been longing for children but she hasn't been able to and she knows that perhaps if she went on a health journey like maybe her doctor has said that to her. Oh, you just
Yeah.
need to lose weight. I know actually several people in my own personal life that have been told that by their doctors. I mean, that could be a whole nother podcast right in there, unpacking that and that kind of a messaging from our doctors. But I know as somebody who has been told, like, I mean, just looking at my BMI, being told I'm obese, right? Like, there's feeling stuck, feeling like there is literally, like, I don't know. where to go. I don't know where to turn. I'm feeling defeated. Maybe I've tried. Maybe there's, I've tried working with somebody before and either
Mhm.
I couldn't stick with it for one reason or another, or I'm just honestly feeling overwhelmed. She wants to see change in her health, in her life, but she doesn't know where to begin, where to go from here. What would you say to her right now?
Yeah. First, like there's a lot of shame in our culture about being overweight. Like I mean, if we're being like really, really honest, there are studies that like people who are overweight really are treated differently.
Mhm.
And it sucks. Like, so first of all, please like don't put that shame on yourself. Like there's enough of it out there. Like please don't add it to yourself. Give yourself grace, especially like when it does come to like postpartum or infertility, like those are so heavy on their own that like there's so much grace for you and like really taking it slow.
Mhm.
Um, but I thought this was such a good question. I think that if there is someone who can be in your corner, like you mentioned it earlier, whether it's a spouse, a friend, a coach, like ask them to be in your corner because it really does make it easier. Like, by no means has my husband done every workout, eaten every meal, but he has been such a cheerleader and like he has been like, yeah, we'll change what we're making for dinner to like better support your goal. And it's not like we're eating chicken and rice every meal, but it's just shifting what we make a little bit so that it's sustainable for me and it's healthy for everybody in the family, like that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So if there's someone who can be in your corner, like ask them because they will want to be. If not, if you're starting this on your own, I would say pick one of four things, whether it's nutrition, water, steps, or exercise, and just make like a small goal. So if you're like water feels like the easiest, track your water for like 3 days, see what you're drinking, and just increase it by 10 ounces for the week. So, like, if your average was 40, this week aim for 50 to 60. Like, really, really simple, small goals. If you're doing it with steps, just add like 1,000 steps for your average for the week. If it's like you talked about protein, if you track your protein, you're like, oh, I'm hitting like 80 grams, just aim for 100 for the week. Like that, it's, it doesn't have to be big because I think those big overhauls, like we chatted about like Whole30, paleo, those are harder to sustain long term, especially if you're someone who travels a lot or goes out to eat a lot. Like it just gets to the point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Um, but something small, it feels more manageable and it will be sustained long term. And with that, like your confidence is going to grow.
Mhm.
That's like a promise I want to make to you. If you're starting with a small goal and you're hitting that goal, like you're going to see that confidence grow. I remember before I started, like we would go out to eat and I just felt like everybody was thinking like you need to go eat a meal at home. Like go eat, you don't need to be eating here. Like they probably were not thinking that. I don't know. I don't care anymore. But even like in those first 5 pounds that I lost, I remembered I didn't care anymore because I knew I was taking care of myself. And I
Mhm.
think that like that makes such a difference in how we view like our day to day. And then just celebrate any of those wins. If
Mhm.
you're like, I hit my water goal for a week, like have a bubble bath. If you're like, I dropped a pound, like go to your favorite bookstore. Like it doesn't have to cost a lot. It doesn't have to cost
Mhm.
anything.
Mhm.
But celebrating those is huge because it will help you want to keep moving forward. So I know it
Mhm.
was more than like one thing, but I felt
No,
like they all
that is
kind of went
so
together.
good. That is so good. And I think that just the concept even just of celebration, like
Hmm.
I think I know as somebody who is very goal oriented or has been in different seasons of my life and ambitious and driven and
Hmm.
motivated. I think sometimes like you reach a goal that you were working toward and then it's like, okay, what's next? Like what's next?
Yes. The
Rather than
goalpost moves.
taking a moment and being like, look where we came from and where we are.
Yeah.
Like this is so exciting.
Yeah.
And just like I'm proud of the hard work that I've done to get here.
Hmm.
And I'm proud that I'm gonna keep going, you know? And I
Yeah.
think that is a huge take time to celebrate, and like involve the people around you, right? Like if
Hmm.
you know, if you have a spouse or you have kids or your best friend or whoever it might be, like being like, hey, can you like celebrate this with me? Like
Yeah.
let's go for a walk or enjoy the beautiful fall colors outside. Like let's, you know,
Yes.
whatever it might be, or like getting your kids like together and going and playing soccer at the park or whatever. Like just celebrating. Like you said, it doesn't have to be this like expensive, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But just taking that time to celebrate the journey. So thank you so much for joining me here today.
Yeah. Thank you for
I
having me.
loved getting to have this conversation with you. I'm excited for more conversations in the future. And for those listening, if they don't yet know you or that this is the first time
Mhm.
they've got to meet you, where can they connect with you
Yeah.
moving forward from here?
Yeah. So the best places would be Instagram, and my handle is Becca, Becca underscore Brinkley, Brinkley. Or my website is www.bewellmethod.com. And there are places on the website that you can like send me a message, sign up for emails, find me on Instagram, all those things.
Amazing. Wonderful. And I'll make sure to include that information in the show notes so that you can see that in the description on YouTube, so you can connect with Becca. I know she is one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram. I'm always inspired by you, and I'm just so thankful that you took time to be with us today and share your story. So
Yeah.
thank
Thank
you,
you so
friend.
much for having me. This was wonderful.
Yes, I loved it. I'm looking forward to our next chat soon.
Yes, me too.
Bye.
Bye.